not a Jew.
Guys,
But
if you want to learn something
Yes.
about Nina's life, hurry up. Otherwise, she's a teacher. She's
Nina,
going to ask
Nina,
500
now I
questions.
know
and
let's
you-
leave the black people out there. Let's speak about you now.
and what I'm interested in, I'm
What,
old.
your story, your
I'm
story.
old and ill and weak. It's not interesting to speak
No,
about.
no, no.
No, it
I'll tell you something.
No.
People like them, they're interested how you live, what support you get from the community, because they want to understand the
Yes.
reality, you know, that.
I want to tell you
Tell us.
that only if the community didn't help me, I wouldn't be able to pay the rent. I wouldn't be able to eat every day. They helped me very
No, but
much.
tell us a little bit about you, and then we speak about how much you pay for that, for
Now,
when you were born,
Yeah.
your story.
Yes.
Tell us
Start in the beginning.
well, are you strong in mathematics?
Yes.
a little bit. Yes,
A little bit, you will understand? Now, look here. In 3 months, in June, I'll meet my 92nd birthday.
Mazel tov.
Азохувей, это называется по-русски,
По-еврейски.
по-еврейски.
Nina, where were you born?
Well, no, it's too much.
Where were you born?
One mustn't live so long. No.
No. They have asked you, where were you born?
They were
I
this-
was born, I'm not from Latvia, but I live here for about 62 years.
Where you were born.
But I'm not a citizen.
Not a citizen.
Okay.
I'm not a citizen.
We'll speak tomorrow. It's a discrimination. People don't get passports.
Okay, so yeah, so
Well, I have a passport,
But
but
not
it's a
citizen.
special passport.
Alien passport. It's called alien passport.
Well,
Alien,
it's,
okay.
where were you born?
it's of a different color from those who are
Born here.
born here.
Really, yeah?
But I wasn't born here.
No, but where?
Where were you born?
I'm from the Ukraine. Do you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the capital of the Ukraine? It is Kiev.
Kiev.
Well, I am from Kiev.
Kiev. Okay.
I was born in Kiev in a Jewish family.
Okay.
Well, but I lived there only till when I was 9 years old. My parents moved to St. Petersburg. It was Leningrad at
Yeah.
that time, but it is St. Petersburg. There I studied at school, at the university, and when the Second World War broke out, I was evacuated. I was a student, and my faculty, do you understand what a
Yeah,
faculty
yeah.
is? Yes, was
Faculteit.
evacuated to the north of Russia. It is a port, a great port in Russia, Archangel. Have you ever
Archangel.
heard?
Archangel.
Have you ever heard?
No.
Well,
It's in the
in the
North
north.
Sea.
beyond the
North Sea.
polar circle. It's very
Yeah,
cold.
no, it's not beyond. It's Murmansk,
Murmansk.
it's beyond.
Murmansk.
But Archangel, there were only 2 ports not occupied by the Germans, and Archangel was one of them.
Okay.
So I was not, I didn't see any Germans in my city, in my town, but I worked very much, and I was on duty on the roof of the house, and I was active. And
You can
then
imagine looking at Nina that she was active.
I was active, yeah, I was an active member, well, and life was hard, very hard. But I was a student, I was young.
Okay.
Well, I understood that, well, we must wait, because I was sure that the victory will be won by
Okay. So.
by the Soviet Union. And so it happened.
Were you aware what was going on in the rest of?
Well,
Were you aware? Did you know what was going on with the Jewish people during that period?
А что с евреями ни делали германцы, вы тогда знали ли?
no. In Archangel there were no Jews. And I was a student, I told you. And once, at the lesson, I was sitting, and nearby was sitting a Russian girl she was born there in Archangel. And we lived that the Soviet people are very great friends, and there are Ukrainians and Russians and Jews. And she asked me, have you ever seen any Jews? I said, yes, I have. She said, but I have no idea. What do they look like? I have never seen them. I said, look at me. And she said, I'm not joking. Tell me, what are the Jews like? What are they like? I say, but I am a Jew. And she was greatly surprised. They have never seen any Jews.
All
But
the Jews lived only in this part of the Soviet Union, Poland, Ukraine,
certainly,
Lithuania.
sir,
There were
the
no Jews
Jews
in most
lived
of
in
Russia,
the
no Jews, zero.
southern, in the south of the
Yeah,
country,
yes.
but not in the north.
What was called a pale of settlement.
The climate, the climate is severe there. Well, it's always cold. Well, so you understand? You understand it? Yes. And but after the war, one of my relatives, he was a great chief, so to say, and he was sent to Riga to help the Latvian people. And he settled here with his family. I was invited by them to come to see them. But when I came there, and when I compare the life here and the life there, I didn't lose a minute, but I agreed and I asked them to let me live here.
That's how a lot of Jewish people came here, because really like Baltics were slightly better than the rest of the...
Baltic
more
was,
food,
it
more-
was Europe.
It was Europe for the Russians,
Europe.
this is Europe.
For us it was Europe. And the culture was much higher than in our Soviet Union, where I was born. And life was easier here. They were not hungry. You could go to the market, you could buy everything you need if you had some money, certainly. But there, and so I settled here. It was not easy. It was not easy to be allowed to stay here. But my relative, he went to I don't know what he did, but I got
Permission.
permission to stay here. And as I didn't know the Latvian language, I couldn't teach, I couldn't work at the university. I was sent to school, to the middle school, to be a teacher there. Well, and
High school.
Yeah.
no,
Gymnasium,
no,
not
secondary
Middle school.
secondary.
And I couldn't, I needed the Latvian language
Okay.
in order to work at the high school, but I didn't know it.
Yes.
Well, and so I stayed here, and
And you learned to speak Latvian.
I understand Latvian. I can speak Latvian not very well. It's my fault. I understand. I'm guilty. Certainly, I'm guilty. Because if you live here, you must know the language.
Yeah, but many people they don't know the language and yes,
But
and
it's
they
not
didn't
right.
need, and frankly, many people didn't need to know it because they didn't in their daily life it was Russian.
No,
Yeah.
it's not right. I'm sure that
No, but
one
in
must know the
no, she was
language.
intellectual.
If I live here, I must know the language.
Yes.
Certainly.
But now they were asked to get now when they were 90 years old to get exams for sure.
Yes,
it's impossible, no?
examination.
Examination. Why should I
You
have a passport?
know, no,
Because
now,
you need to go examination at 92 years old. you know.
I understand and I can speak.
What is Riga like post? You came in after 1945.
I came here in 1949.
What is Riga like even for the
What was
for the
like?
Jewish
What
people?
was Riga like?
Yeah.
Well, the same as now.
Well, almost, yeah.
Almost,
and what was
almost
it
the
as,
same.
you know, full of
Because
tragedy?
you know, the Soviet army didn't destroy Riga. The Germans had no time to do it. They wanted, but they couldn't do it. So Riga was not destroyed.
But there were very few Jewish people here after the war.
Here,
Yeah,
there
in-
were not many Jewish
Right.
people, but still there were.
Mhm.
But then the majority moved to Israel, to America, to Germany. Very many moved to Germany. I didn't move.
Germany.
But it was in the 90s.
Germany
She means
invited.
the
Okay, in
90s,
the
after
90s.
the communism fell down.
Certainly, Germany helped them.
Because they were allowed, people were allowed to go there and they are getting passports immediately.
Ger-
Jewish people
Germany helped the Jewish people
in the
very
90s.
much.
In the 90s, 20 years
And
ago.
they made their life there easy and comfortable.
What was it like living as a Jew here in Riga in the 1950s? Was it a problem? Was it difficult
What was the problem?
to live as a Jewish person?
No. Well, you know, no Latvian ever told me that I'm a Jewish. No. I don't know what he thinks about me.
Were you not restricted in any way?
I don't know.
No.
But they were loyal to me. No,
Look, officially there were no restrictions.
I can't
Jews were
say
part of the big
anything
Soviet,
about
People.
Soviet peoplehood. So you have Jews, Latvians,
Okay.
Russians, Even in some places, you go to Minsk in the 30s,
Yeah.
it was Yiddish on the official sign Yiddish because it was part of the national Jewish language.
Okay.
But many people are saying that there were quotas for universities. There were in some places. Yes, not here in
Not here, I didn't feel it.
in some quotas, that many people,
For example,
there
I
was
knew it very,
discrimination.
very well that there are some certain professions I can never stop.
Also, if you want to
Yes,
have
I
a religious
worked-
life, if you want to go to a
worked,
synagogue, you have a
And
problem.
I was a good teacher.
Because Russia, because
And
anti-religion.
everybody
Because it was
was-
anti-religion.
Full stop.
The same, if you want to go to
To a
Catholic
church.
church,
To the
also a
church,
problem.
Okay.
Same stuff.
Religion was something separate,
Yeah.
you know.
Religion.
And
Well,
this is how people
I
do not-
was
they-
no, I was born in a real Jewish family. My father went to the synagogue every Friday. Every Friday evening he came home with somebody whom he took
For
to
dinner.
supper. Well, and they were badly dressed. They were poor. I didn't like it. Well, and in our family, all Jewish traditions were kept and kept from A to as it is written in the Bible.
Nina, tell us a little bit about what happened when you retired and what happened when the Latvian became independence. How your life changed with